So I bet you're wondering how I landed advance tickets to the Evil Dead remake. Well, the truth is I found a book in my family cabin which I go to every spring break. Well, ever since I read it, my wishes have been coming true, but I just don't feel the same. I feel like my soul has been drained.
Won't you read it with us?
You thought it was going to be Twilight, didn't you? So it's not very often that I get excited enough about a horror film to actually go see it in theaters. Mostly because I'm a big wuss. But there is always at least one a year that I have to go see. Last year, it was Cabin in the Woods, one of the most original and smart horror films I have ever seen. Ironically enough, 1 year later comes a remake of the film that pioneered the American cabin subgenre. And when this was announced, Evil Dead fans lost their friggin' minds. Now I have to address this first. I am one of the biggest Evil Dead fans out there. So when I heard they were remaking Evil Dead, of course I was skeptical because Hollywood is remaking every horror franchise they can get a hold of. And the remakes have not been strong. And Raimi is not directing this one, and Campbell is not acting in this one? Or is he? Stay till after the credits. But let me paraphrase and illustrate the point that the great Mr. Campbell has made. My name is Michael Johnson. I'm not, however, this guy. He's an NFL player. I'm not this guy, because he can skate. And I'm not this guy, because I don't fake injuries. The only thing we have in common, aside from natural athleticism, is the fact that our parents apparently weren't overly original. Does that mean the Evil Dead remake lacks originality? Absolutely not, because they are their own film. What's great about the 2013 Evil Dead is it brings you a healthy mix of old and new. If you're a hardcore Deadite, then there are countless moments of fanboy tidbits and nods to the original. My favorite is right near the beginning of the film. Sam Raimi's car, or at least a version of it, makes a cameo appearance, which it has done in countless Raimi films before. The film also follows a very familiar pattern, and even though it elaborates on the plot of the original, it's still very much a cabin story archetype. Just like Cabin in the Woods pointed out last year, it is the magical number of 5 friends who go to this cabin and of course fit into their own archetypes. You've got the alpha male, the intellect, and everybody's favorite, the whore. Well, a lesser version of her. And because you know what's going to happen to these characters, you know they're going to be dismembered in disgusting ways, you don't necessarily really care about them. Truth be told, I don't think I could name 60% of the characters, and that's out of 5. You might as well have just named them after their archetypes, like Reed Penderstudy, Bambi Jigglesworth, and Slab Vanderhuge. But it was also the changes that were made to these archetypes that made things new and interesting. Mia, the main character especially, is someone you really can't put your finger on and definitely can't pigeonhole into an archetype. She was victim, hero, catalyst. They wouldn't be at the cabin in the first place if it wasn't for her. Add the fact that she was possessed for most of the film. That's not a spoiler, you can see it in the trailer. Suddenly, you're following the story of a demon girl who you can actually connect to. My favorite character and performance was that of Shiloh Fernandez as David. He's a little like Ash in the original, as he's not a true alpha male to begin with, he more inherits the role of hero. Making David and Mia a brother-sister relationship rather than the typical romantic relationship actually made me feel more for the characters. The best part, however, the more I think about it, is the balance of the film. There aren't too many jump scares, which is great because it is the lowest form of horror filmmaking. But it still has a few doozies. The film even used sound really effectively to build tension and to make your skin crawl. I won't dare compare it to a legendary filmmaker, but his name rhymes with Falfred Hitchcock. There is a lot of over-the-top gore, blood, puke, urine, but it's not used too much. It's the fine filmmaking touch that I truly admired, which you wouldn't expect from a film that has a molesting tree. Yeah, they went there, and by there I mean there. So Alvarez as director, and because of the careful balance that he was able to create, is this episode's For the Win. Alvarez's Evil Dead brings this franchise into the mainstream, which I think a lot of true fans might have been afraid of. The other original films were cult films, and because of that I think that true fans are afraid that becoming mainstream means that they're going to lose their franchise. Well, don't be, because this is an amazing, updated version which actually expands on the mythology. Because when you think this story is over, it ain't. But my review is almost over, so before I go, let me just say, it isn't earn it. Give it a shot. There is a lot you will take away from this film. And if you don't like it, you can always go home and watch the original on Blu-ray. Poll question, what is your favorite cabin movie? As always, leave your answers in the comments section below. And a little quick update because I wasn't lying about some dreams coming true. Real schoolers, you may recall I covered Chicago Comic-Con last August. Well, Wizard phones me up. Actually, they emailed me and said, why don't you come and cover St. Louis Comic-Con as well? So they are flying me out to St. Louis, and if you remember the interviews I got at Chicago, you gotta stay tuned because you know I'm gonna come home with some goodies. So wish me luck on my trip, and until then, school's out.